What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel today. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Today, boys, is an absolutely incredible day within the FIFA cycle because we have our first batch of icon swaps. And before we get into that, I do want to just mention, by the way, we have this new loading screen for winter wildcards. I'm hoping this is somewhat close to the foot freeze or foot miss sort of promos where we have daily SBCs, because I really need that right now. I really want that right now. I find it so fun. But what I will say is the card design for it, the green and gold, looks so good. So they absolutely killed on the design of the whole card and the promo just generally. But more importantly, coming in today's content, we do indeed have ourselves icon swaps. One, it's out, it's finally here, and I think it's come a little bit later than I thought it would be. I thought it would have been last week or this week, maybe on Monday or Tuesday, but obviously it's come out on Wednesday/Thursday, depending where you are in the world. And from what it seems like, it does seem like the leaks that we had on Twitter are true. I don't know what EA have to go in ahead and do to stop these leaks getting out there, but they need to do it because it's kind of killing a lot of the hype and the promos about the mystery behind some promos. So I'm hoping those stop at some point. Obviously, we do have the foot freeze and that got all, not foot freeze, foot versus, and that kind of all got leaked as well. So it's all kind of going all downhill when it comes to the leaks and stuff like that. But that doesn't take away from the fact that we do have some incredible content in icon swaps when it comes to the grindability of the game and giving you guys either some extra icon players or some fodder packs. So let's go ahead and look at the milestones objectives, because they are in milestones. If you guys don't know, objectives end at the end of the season. So these had to be released on milestones. Otherwise, there wasn't just gonna be enough time for people to complete them. And we do have 9 tokens to go ahead and complete. The first batch, of course, is mostly in squad battles. They're offline ones. We have 5 objectives in squad battles. We got first owner players, 11 of them. We got 11 Brazilians, 11 Argentinians, 11 Eredivisie players, and 11 silver players. And you need to win 6 matches in each of the squad battle games, all on world-class difficulty. Might be a bit boring, but you can combo some of these up. For example, you can do Argentinians with first owners. You can do Brazilians with the silvers. I don't know if you can combo Eredivisie with anything other than silvers and first owners. But you can definitely reduce the amount of time that is required for each of these ones by comboing some of them up. So hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. And yeah, there's 30 games there to win collectively. Now, also on top of that, we do have win 13 weekend league matches. Now, I'm going to assume this is Foot Champs Finals. They haven't really said anything to do with the terminology of weekend league this year on FIFA 22. And obviously you guys know that the Foot Champs system's changed. We have Foot Champs Playoffs and Foot Champs Finals. But this just seems to be like copy paste from last year pretty much. So I'm going to assume that instead of weekend league, this is going to be Foot Champs Finals. But I'm hoping they haven't like miscoded the tracking for this and then we don't end up getting the games for playing this. But what I will say is that you have about 4 weeks worth of weekend league to go ahead and get this done. 13 games isn't realistically too hard. That's an average of 3 to 4 games wins per weekend league. So as long as you're qualifying for the Foot Champs Finals, you should hopefully be fine for that. And then also on top of that, we've got 3 other tokens, of course, in the Premier League, La Liga, and Serie A. They're all going to be played in the one league mode, which of course is going to be a full team from the one league. And this is what you got to do. So you got to win 6 matches, you got to score finesse shots, and then assist in 10 separate matches. So it's going to take you 10 games like it did previously. So it is quite tedious, but it depends obviously on which one. I know this one's got through balls, and this one has, again, through balls, I guess. So they copied both of them with the through balls, and this is the only one with the finesses. But yeah, there's not really a way to combo these up. You do have to kind of play 30 games for this, but I would imagine that most people will probably do golden goal and kind of reduce that time a bit down. So that's what you guys got to do for the first 9 tokens. And then of course, after January 10th, that is when the second batch of tokens are going to be released. So that's kind of the deal. Now let's go have a look at some of the swap claims that you can go ahead and do and let you guys know which is going to be the best value, in my personal opinion, for the swap claims. So let's head over to the swaps tab. And as you guys can see, they're back once again, the 81, 82, and 83 times 25 packs. And this one requires 2 tokens, this requires 3 tokens, this requires 5 tokens. I personally think this is a perfect thing to save if you do want to save it for Team of the Year. It's 10 tokens total, and by January 10th, I don't imagine Team of the Year should be here, so you should be able to get all 3 packs by Team of the Year, and the rumors are potentially it should be late January. I thought it was going to be mid to early, but apparently it's going to be late January. But I think these are perfect packs that if you wanted to, you could save them for Team of the Year. Also, at the same time, if you're crafting up anything like Vinicius Jr., Player of the Month, or maybe some of the Icon SBCs, maybe some of the bigger SBCs, maybe this is something that you might want to go ahead and claim for that specific grind. But again, that means you're not opening them up for Team of the Year, you're opening them up now. So I love these fodder packs. If you guys want to get these done, not too bad. Shouldn't be too much effort at the same time. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of the players. First of all, we got Iker Casillas for 6 games. Again, I don't know really all too much about him because I haven't really tried him out. Keepers are very subjective in FIFA. But yeah, he is an icon keeper. I can imagine he'd be pretty decent, but again, it's hard to know. And I guess for 6 tokens, if you really want an icon keeper, it's there. But realistically, a card like, I mean, even someone like Gold Minam, but even like Donnarumma and like Allison, all this sort of stuff, they'll kind of do the job. So I don't really recommend too much doing an icon keeper. Now, moving upwards, we do have 7 tokens for Rio Ferdinand for the mid version. Now, I do think the baby is better than the mid. And I gotta say, when I tried the baby, I thought he was good, but I didn't think he was anything outstanding. Now, of course, when it comes to these players, if these are cards that are like club icons for you, or like players that you've watched for a long time in the previous situations and you want to just have them in your team, then obviously go ahead and do them. But I feel like with this year and how boosted the center backs are already, you guys know that we have a 90 Sule SBC outs, as well as also the 88 PK. I can probably imagine that those cards will already be better than Rio Ferdinand stat-wise. Maybe if you need the icon link, that's also available, but I don't know. I don't really love that one, I gotta say. So 7 tokens, it's a good center back, don't get me wrong. I think he's probably one of the better center backs in FIFA, but I just don't know how great the mid version is, especially compared to the baby. And I don't think the baby was really worth the coins when I tried him out. So that's kind of the deal for that one. Now, moving upwards, we do have Prime Overmars for 9 tokens. I do believe this guy is indeed 3-star, 5-star, so you aren't going to be using any skill moves with him besides obviously like body feints, step overs, all that sort of stuff, roulettes as well. He is a very, very fast player. I don't think anything besides his pace and dribbling, like his shooting stats aren't really all too good. You'd kind of want to probably put a finisher chem style, I would say, on this one. But it's an alright token for 9 tokens. You can go ahead and get that done straight away. Again, I'm not a massive fan of that one either words. Now, moving up to this situation for these next players, I think this is where it becomes potentially very good options if you potentially want to take them. So first up, we do have Marcel Desailly. It is his mid version. I would say I don't love playing the mid version in the midfield. I think this is a card that if you want to go ahead and do it, you're going to be swapping him to center back and then moving someone to the midfield. A lot of people like to do the Matthias Desailly baby mid swap. And the reason for that basically is just because his technical stats when it comes to his passing, when it comes to his dribbling, obviously the shooting as well, but it depends if you're playing him CDM, aren't the best. I think the only situation where you use this guy in the mid is maybe in a sole defensive option, maybe in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, or if you use him as the guy who stays back in maybe your 4-2-3-1. But I really find like this guy is more kind of suited to the skill, to the center back role, especially with the fact that he's got 2-star skills and 3-star weak foot. So again, I'm not a massive fan of this one, but I can understand this is a very, very meta option. If you guys want to rotate him from CDM to center back, that's another deal that you could potentially do. But once again, from this point onwards, for all these icons, you are going to have to wait until after January 10th to get the tokens for it. So bit of a shame with that one. Now, moving onwards to 12 tokens, we have, in my opinion, probably one of the better versions of Del Piero, the base icon, and that's because he's got really, really good pace. This guy is really, really good. I really love him in most previous FIFAs. I haven't tried him out this year, but of course, 5-star, weak foot, 4-star skills. He's actually got more pace than his mid and his prime, I believe, and he's a very, very clinical striker. If you guys want to do this one, I don't mind it. I don't think it's too terrible. He's a very, very good striker, but it just depends if you want to do that one. And it depends if you want to have that grind for 12 tokens. That's something that you got to consider. Now, moving upwards, we do have probably, I think, for me, probably the most longevity. That's probably a bad way to say it, but the guy who will last you the longest, basically. And this guy, of course, is going to be Prime Zambrotta. You are going to have to exchange 14 icon swaps tokens to go get him, so it is a bit of a grind. 9 tokens in the first set plus 5 in the second set. But of course, Gianluca Zambrotta is very, very good in this game. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, high medium work rates with a 5'11", pretty much ideal for your right back spots. I loved his prime icon moments last year. I can't imagine the prime would be too much different. And this is a card that you can genuinely run probably into team of the season. I was going to say just before teams, but you could probably run him into team of the season as well, just because of how good he is. Now, the only thing I'd say about this, it is a bit more of a boring option, but if you want someone who locks into your team, that's something the way you might want to go. The only thing with this also as well is you are putting 14 tokens, which is a big chunk of tokens, into a right back, which I don't know if you guys want to do that, but he is definitely a more endgame sort of card if you do want to get that sort of one. So I think out of all the options, this is probably the one that will probably last you the longest. And then finally, for 17 tokens, we do also have the middle Wayne Rooney, 88 rated. He has got only 3-star skills and 4-star weak foot, but the card looks absolutely incredible. And of course, it's going to take you all but one of your tokens. I haven't tried him out this year, so I don't really know too much about him. But he does look absolutely clinical. I will say that the shooting is off the charts with this guy. I would probably once again maybe go a finisher chem style just to boost the dribbling and the shooting just to max it out. But again, it depends on what you want to do. You could either go Hunter, Hawk, whatever, that sort of good stuff. And I feel like he'd be a good card. So when it comes to the players, obviously you choose what you want to play with, of course. If it's a club icon that you really want to have in your club, if you've watched him previously in real life and you've been like, you know what, that's a guy I need for my club. Of course, if he's a club legend, if you're a United fan, maybe you want to take Rooney. But I think for me, if you're going to do any of the players, Desai upwards is alright. Once again, Desai, I'd probably say you have to kind of go and play him at center back because his attacking stats in FIFA and the way he moves on the ball just isn't the best. But I think if you want to take any of Del Piero, Zambrotta and Rooney for a guaranteed icon shout, it's not too terrible. So that's one option that you could potentially do. And then of course, on top of that, we do have all of the packs for all of these icon packs. So first of all, for 8 tokens, I do believe we have a middle and base, a mid or base icon pack. It's the one that's out right now in SBCs. I think it's about a 350k SBC. I've been seeing some pretty good stuff from them. I'm gonna be honest. When I've been watching a lot of like people opening a lot of these packs, they seem to have some pretty alright weight. And this is an icon pack that you could gamble right now before going into the second batch of icon swaps. So if you do want to take this one, I kind of give you full license to go ahead and take it. I think it's pretty all right. Now moving up to 10 tokens, we do have the mid icon pack just by itself. This again is not a terrible option. You obviously get rid of the bases. I will say there are a few bases that are probably better than the mids. For example, Eusebio, as well as also I'd probably say Desai, just for me personally. A few other cards in there that would be bases are better than mids. But obviously, if you want to just have that mid icon chance, you do have to wait till January 10th to go ahead and get this. But I don't think it's a terrible shot. And you've got some pretty good combo options. We'll have a look at the combo options in a sec as well. Now moving up, we do have a 89 plus mid icon pack for 13 tokens. I'm personally going to say I don't think these ones are all too crazy. And the reason why I say that is if you're going to get something good, you're going to get something good. But from the 89 plus, you do cancel out a lot of the bad icons, but you also keep in a lot of the bad icons, and you get rid of cards like 88 Vieira, for example, who's an incredible mid icon. So I don't know, I think I would rather just take the risk with the mid icon here instead of potentially getting someone like a Baggio, a Van Basten. I'm trying to think of other ones. I think probably Shearer is in there as well. I want to say Shearer was 89. I don't know entirely. I'm not a massive fan of the rating minimums because there are some icons that aren't worth the most and aren't the best in the game, but they still have pretty high ratings. So I think if you are going to take a mid icon pack, I'd probably would go for the 10 one over the 13 one. And then, boys, we move to one of the most exciting things within FIFA Ultimate Team, the icon player pick. Now, this year, unfortunately, it does seem to me that I feel like they've nerfed it just a tiny bit, because last year what it used to be for the first icon swaps batch was 1 of 3. This time for both options, I believe it's only 1 of 2, which is a bit of a shame. But what we did see last year in the first icon swaps was a lot of players going ahead and getting Cruyffs, Eusebios, all those sort of upper tier base icon players from this icon pick. Now, they have done a base or mid this time around, and then a base, mid, or prime. So if you do want to save up for these ones, this is probably one of your best chances to go ahead and get a top tier one. just because I don't know what it is about icon player picks or player picks in general, but they just seem to have a little bit more extra luck than you would normally get from a pack. I feel like that's just the way it is. You guys know from last year how many icon player picks I did. We got some pretty good odds from just generally throughout them, and I feel like if I was to do that on packs, I probably wouldn't have got the same. So yeah, if you guys do want to do the icon player pick, this one is going to be 14 tokens for obviously a 1 of 2 base or mid, and then if you want to have that option for a prime in there as well, it is 17 tokens. Now the only thing that's a bit more of a shame for me is it is a 1 of 3, and I think it wouldn't have been too unreal to give a 1 of 3, but maybe that is just like too much for EA to give for an option for a prime as well. So obviously it's a big gamble, but if you do want the icon player pick, you do have 2 options there. You can either include your base mid or prime in there, or you can go ahead and get your base and mid in there. So the options there, icon player picks are very good. The question is though, are you going to get something good from it? That is the main thing. And then finally, we do also have another icon pack. It is a mid or prime icon pack, 16 tokens. So you can get a mid or prime player from this. And yeah, if you wanted to do this one, I don't think it's too bad. Just once again, it is a big save up for it. So that is something you got to consider. So anyway, boys, that's kind of the entirety of the icon swaps options in general. But now let's go ahead and look at some of the combinations you can go ahead and get, and maybe give you guys my recommendation for the best option. So first of all, I think if you want to take, and the option I'm probably going to take myself, all of the fodder packs for Team of the Year, that's going to take you to 10 tokens. And then from that point onwards, obviously you can get either Iker Casillas, Rio Ferdinand, or you can get the base or mid icon pack. And this is probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the base or mid icon pack, and I'm also going to probably take these 3 fodder packs for Team of the Year. So that's a total of 18 tokens right there. And I think right there, you're getting yourself a lot of fodder to potentially craft any sort of SBC that you want during Team of the Year, or right now, or for some other icon SBC later down the line. I think they're both really good options for me personally. So that's what I will personally take if you want to go ahead and do the gamble for the fodder as well as also for the icon pack. Now, also on top of that, we do have an option for you to take 2 icon packs, 1 for 8 tokens and 1 for 10 tokens. But my thought process behind this is, with the amount of fodder that you get from these 3 packs, you could potentially get something incredible from the packs, and then you're probably going to have enough fodder to get an icon pack whenever they drop it for a mid icon pack. So I don't know, I think if I was like wanting to do the mid icon pack and the base icon pack, I think I would just take the 3 fodder packs instead, and then whenever a mid icon pack came out, I would go ahead and do it with the fodder that I got from these 3 packs. So that's what I probably would say for any of those situations. Now, moving up to the players, if you want to take Desai, that's what's it going to be? 11 tokens. So you can either go ahead and take Rio Ferdinand, which I think 2 very good center-back partnerships, or 1 center-back and 1 DM. If you want to take 2 usable players, that obviously is an option for you, but that comes down to you and if you want that. Or if you do want to do that, you could probably take the 2 and the 5 for Desai. So if that's something that you want, if you do want Desai, 2 and 5 is not too bad. I think that's a pretty good option just generally. I don't think you're going to be able to get an icon pack, but that's not too bad of a combo. And then it's the same with Del P as well, where Del P, if you do want to get this very usable attacker icon into your club, you got 6 tokens left over. I would probably go ahead and take the 2 and the 2 and the 3 tokens instead of the 5 token pack, I want to say. Just because of the fact that you're just going to get more cards in general, and then at some point there's probably going to be some sort of upgrade SBC if you really want to upgrade that fodder. But that being said, I feel like this is a very good pack generally overall. But again, I don't know really what I would take there. Maybe you take the 5 token instead of the 2 and 3 one. That was a bit of a hard one. Now, obviously, if you do want to also go ahead and get one of these like upper tier icon packs, you're just going to have to combo it up with some other sort of fodder. So for example, if you've got the 13, you can either go for the 2 and the 3, or you can go for the 5 once again. And once you go to 14, you're then just limited to go 2 and 3. So you just pretty much have to take the 3 option for that one. And then I guess it's the same with all these like upper tier ones. Same with Zambrotta. I think Zambrotta, if you really want to get like an end tier game icon in your club, you could do that with Zambrotta with a 3 token 82 times 25. That would be pretty reasonable. And then I think the only other combo you could do is the mid or prime icon pack if you really want to go for that. with the 81 times 25 pack, the 2 token ones. So that's also another option available for you. But I guess you can't really combo any of these up. If you do really want these, this is something that you're just gonna have to go ahead and take. But yeah, boys, so I think if you do really want any of the players, you go ahead and take the players and then just fill out with the rest of the fodder packs. If you want one of the upper tier player picks or packs, if you really want to save for that, that's an option that you got to take and decide for yourself. But I think for me, the best value for just generally overall, and what I'm probably going to take, is probably going to be the base or mid icon pack with alongside the 81, 82, and 83 times 25 packs for fodder. And then I'll be able to use that to either craft up another icon or craft up some other SBC, and also save them for Team of the Year, for the potential to go ahead and get myself a big boy Team of the Year, because I think those are sort of cards that can last for such a long time. And when it comes to Team of the Year, you just want the best chance to try and get yourself one of those like big blue cards, you know? So that's kind of what I would say generally for icon swaps. I would say this is probably definitely more worth it to get all these fodder packs in the base of mid instead of the mid icon pack and the base of mid icon pack, because you can just craft this with the fodder. And then if you do really want any of these top players, if you can combo up with one of the fodder packs, that kind of works well. Otherwise, just take either the higher icon pack or the higher player overall. So that's kind of the deal. So hopefully that kind of helps you guys decide and make a choice between those ones. But I gotta say, like, I'm not that crazy about this first icon set. I think, like, beyond like Desai upwards, the players are all right, but I think they're nothing too crazy where I'm like, I need to go ahead and do that. Especially when you look at someone like a Zambrotta, which I still think is like an end game sort of level card. It's a right back, and how many good right backs do we have in this game for relatively cheap? You can go ahead and pick yourself up Hakimi for like 35, 40k, 50k. Now, obviously, it might be a bit more boring, but again, it's just more about like the worth. I think for me, I'd rather go ahead and use that and then go ahead and take the icon pack. So I don't know, I'm not that crazy about this first icon swap. But again, I didn't think it was going to be all too good. They usually don't make it that crazy personally overall. What ends up happening is this usually turns out to be more of a casual promo, and the people who don't get to use more of these top tier icons then get a chance to either gamble for one of the top tier icons or just take one of them straight away. So that's kind of the deal. But anyway, boys, that kind of wraps us up for the entirety of the icon swaps promo, just generally overall. Best of luck with your grinding. Hopefully you guys can get it done relatively soon and get whatever you need to get. Once again, I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take the icon pack for the first set, and then for the second set of tokens, I'm probably going to take the fodder packs ready for Team of the Year whenever that drops. Should be hopefully pretty good. But anyway, boys, that's going to do it for the video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Apologies if there's any issues with the microphone and audio stuff. My old microphone broke down, so I did need to replace a whole bunch of parts, and I've kind of just been fine-tuning a few of those things. So hopefully it works out pretty alright. Hopefully I sound pretty clear. But yeah, apologies if that is getting in the way of any of the video and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully I should have that fixed relatively soon. And yeah, boys, thank you guys for watching the video today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit a big old thumbs up. If you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe. And anyway, boys, take care, have a good one, much love, and peace.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul.